On average, we did 25 to 30 combat patrols a day. All hours of the night, sporadically searching houses, kicking in doors. It's you or him. Combat is a real combination of fear, exhaustion, sleeplessness, and complacency, but hypervigilance. The violence is horrific. The violence of a 50 cal or a mortar or a roadside bomb is just, it's indescribable. I felt the extreme heat and fire. I could feel the concussion in my organs. We all kind of came to. I spun it around. I went back through the kill zone, you know.
You knew about death.
Yeah,
going into this.
Mm-hmm.
You've been a sheriff's deputy.
Yeah.
But you weren't prepared for it.
No, nothing prepares you. And, you know, at the time, I think I've been law enforcement 24 years or something, and who knows, maybe, you know, 35, 40 fatal accidents and a lot of suicides and unattended deaths and you know, a lot of gunshot wounds, self-inflicted. You know, you go into someone's house and he's hung himself and those sorts of things. And I think that, you know, firefighter, EMT cop types that go to war already have some scarring, emotional scarring, I think, from the stuff that we are exposed to. But nothing prepares you for the violence of war. It's just nothingness, just quiet nothingness. You're not sure how to act, really. And then 2 days later, and they go through a question, you know, do you have any injuries? And you know, everybody's like, no, I'm good, regardless if you are or not, because you want to get home. And then you fly home, and very green here, very quiet, you know, and people don't understand. If I walk on Water Street in Augusta, those 3, 4, 5-story buildings, that would be like walking down through this. Fran was the main drag in Fallujah. And we're constantly 360 looking at my troops, looking for identifying targets. And so I had to walk down Main Street on my lunch break and just kind of realizing the anxiety I felt was appropriate and to the scenario in Iraq, but not here.
His soul was affected. You could see it in his face. He was different in meetings. He was very edgy. He was open to talk about the experiences, but he had to take moments where he needed to get his composure back together because he was very upset about certain situations that had transpired over there. But he was different.
Quick to anger, mostly, quick to anger. Over about a 16-week period, every Tuesday I'd go and I'd dread it. I'd look for reasons not to go because it's like ripping a scab off. It really is painful. You know, it brings you back to that pain. It brings you back to that, you know, and I say pain because there it's repressed. I was a sergeant major, so as sergeant major, you're the man. And so you really can't express those feelings there.
I think that the one person that you didn't talk about as far as who you're angry with is yourself. And we see that a lot with veterans, is they're angry with themselves for having to be in those situations, for having to make the decisions to send people to war. And that's a big one.
How do you counter that?
Well, we look at it logically. First we process it. There has to be an understanding and with the goal of acceptance. You know, this is what happened. These are the reasons I did it. These are the reasons we had to do it. You know, bad things happen in war, period. You do things that are horrible in war, things that you never would want to have to do in war, and you still do. And I think that that's the hardest part when you come back, is now you're in a new set of rules.
this is the veterans block, and in the veterans block we have 8 to 10 individuals that have some police involvement and have been incarcerated, and they have a service connection only, maybe influencing their sentencing, their crime. Just being veterans, they have a bond of shared experiences, and as you'll see here, is much calmer. I think more therapeutic. We can focus some of the programming that's veteran specific from the VA and from the Veteran Center, and so that's what makes it a bit different. If you've been to combat, you know, and that you're the only. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So what happens is you only know about combat if you've been there, and so. We're fortunate at the Sheriff's Office. We have a bunch of many combat veterans that serve in the facility, and between the mentorship of the individuals in the block and the awareness of the staff and their knowledge of the impacts of combat, I think that serves a great purpose.
I did it because there was nothing to stop me. I put on a mask or a beard and a wig, and I went in there and handed her a note, and it was that simple. And to my family, finally. Thanks for believing in me, even when I have given you every reason not to be here today. All of you, thank you very much. This is the easy part. Anybody can do time. Time is easy. It's when you get out, that's when the work begins, and I'm cautiously optimistic. So, I know I am still an addict, and I gotta watch myself.
The night I was attacked, I thought I was alone. I had actually let my guard down. I felt pretty comfortable that nothing was going to happen. It was an American military post. I really didn't think there was any danger. I didn't hear them come in because I had music going. But all I remember now, I was grabbed from behind, forced down to the floor, and I believe one of my attackers was an MP because they handcuffed me, but I never saw any faces. I did try to report it. I was told at the MP station and by my company commander that the attack was my fault. I was more violent this time. Usually when I get arrested, I'm actually take it fairly well, but I mean this time, I pushed the police to the point they felt they had to tase me. I got bruises all over my arms from when I got here. I was really upset. I started throwing myself against the cell door. To the point the COs felt the need to put me on a restraint board. But I'm all bruised up from just hitting the door.
And you said you really scared yourself this time.
Yeah, I did scare myself this time.
And when we send these individuals off to war, we're waving the flags and we have the yellow ribbons and go get our boys. When they come back, we have a moral duty to help these folks reintegrate. When you pull the trigger and you lose guys, it changes you forever. it's our duty, I think, as a society to continue to invest in these individuals so they can fully recover.